So I did not expect that last minute equalizer, and I don't think anyone here honestly would have that watched that match. It was it was in the dying seconds. It was past it was at 96 minutes. It was probably nearly 97 by the time the equalizer happened. James Garner crosses from the right wing position, and then Tarkovsky's kind of in and amongst it. I forget who was on the back post. Someone else will, of course, add in on the comments here. But shoots towards Verbruggen. It's a tough one, and it's a scramble, and Beto knocks it in for a 1-1. This was one of those games you just completely did not see it coming. Everton did not were never out of it, but they weren't consistently pushing the envelope either. We had our moments, but we didn't convert, and just felt like the game was dragging away from us. We often have these opportunities, and it looks like Ryan's going to be joining as well. All right, Ryan, do you want to jump in and talk about that? Because that was just so unexpected, and it was
Yeah,
Beto of all people.
yeah, I made it for Beto first and foremost because I think he's a player with an outstanding attitude. I think his work rate is an example for other players. And so I'm really pleased it was Beto that got the equalising goal. I've got to be honest, I did think it was over, but for somehow in that last minute, we ended up playing some of the most expansive football I've seen. It was like Patterson spreading these left-footed passes across the pitch, and he saved us really.
Yep. Well, you know what's amazing, Ryan? We played a right back at right back, and were expansive for like 2 minutes, and we scored because he came on in the last few minutes, didn't he?
We were very
I'm not
open
saying
though.
he,
I thought
yeah.
Timur
Well,
Abunam had a very, very poor cameo. Really
he did.
poor. And Dibbling was really bad as well. The two of them for the cameo. And we did look a bit more open. We looked like we were going to potentially concede a second goal, in fairness. So I can understand why he went with the four centre backs. So I do get that point of view.
Mhm. So there's a lot. We'll start with this. You didn't. I mean, you definitely saw the starting lineup, but didn't get to react live. We were kind of scratching our heads and saying, "How is this going to work?" It turns out Vitaly Mikalenko picked up a knock, and I think he told some reporter basically at the Amex what was going on. So clearly, probably not as expected starting lineup to bring Jared Branthwaite on for effectively a full 90-minute match. I think he got taken off around the 80-minute mark, but for playing out of position at left back, very impressed with what he was able to pull off. Not saying he looks natural and comfortable in that position, but throwing him in to a spot he's not used to, not probably at full match fitness. He did a job there today. But I was nervous straight off. It felt like we were flat-footed. They were having a lot of goal scoring opportunities in the first 5 minutes, and then we just kind of calmed down, and they didn't.
Yeah.
It seemed just a very boring match. I think I was saying on the group text, especially like I legit fell asleep on the couch a couple times, a couple micro naps, like trying to incite myself to keep watching because it just was nothing really happening. And I think I thought maybe something would change at halftime. It didn't really. There was a couple opportunities. My prediction was originally that Keenan Dewsbury Hall would be a goal scorer. He had a really good strike from just outside the box that skimmed wide, and we were thinking, oh, maybe we're starting to come into it. A lot of our attacking play was actually quite lateral, like just on the edge of the 18-yard box. And I think the best chance of the game, other than, of course, the goal, was Chiano Barry setting up, but it was unfortunately it was on his weaker foot, but basically a one-on-one that Verbruggen had to save from Dewsbury Hall right in front of him in the second half. He just didn't
Yeah.
elevate it over the keeper.
I think
But there were a few moments for sure.
there's a few different points you've made there.
Yeah,
I'm talking
I'm all
about
over
the
the shop.
starting lineup, but yeah, that's okay. You're a little bit excited. I didn't like the team. I kind of understood why we did it because there's no wingers available. McNeil hasn't been good enough, and neither has Dibbling. So for those moaning, let's accept neither of them have played well. Alcaraz isn't match fit. Timur Abunam clearly isn't match fit. So I get it. And at fullback, it was harsh on Patterson. He probably felt like he couldn't leave Jake O'Brien out. And then we had no left back. So I get the team. I didn't like the team, but I kind of understood when I thought about it why that had to happen. It was probably a necessity. And as the game went on, obviously we didn't look like scoring, but I thought we looked very solid. I didn't really think we were going to come under any threat, and I think we had the advantage with the height potentially from Brighton set pieces and maybe our own set pieces. But every side wants to start taking the set pieces and hitting them under the goalkeeper.
Mm.
The first half, I've got to be honest, if I was coming on here on my own and doing a match reaction, I would just tell you, I can't remember one thing that happened in that first half. That is a fact. I don't remember anything happening. I don't think we had a shot. It was a few corners for Brighton, and all I was thinking was, we got to try and step up this a little bit. We've either got to
Mm-hmm.
get numbers forward near a Barry, play more higher line, play more aggressive, risk reward. Are we going to open up and concede against Brighton? That's very possible. But we were also conceding a lot of corners because I think we were letting Brighton's wingers kind of get to the byline and then we'd have to block it or cross it or
Yep.
stop it late.
Exactly.
So I would have probably liked just to have been a bit more proactive in dealing with their wingers. But look, we look rusty. Some of the players look rusty. I don't think Garnegay had a good game. I thought Harrison Armstrong looks like he can win a lot of fouls. I want to see more quality across the pitch. And it just looked like a disjointed performance at half time. I was thinking, well, what's he going to do here? Patterson is an option there to kind of change it, a little bit more impetus maybe. But then who would he link up with? Look, I don't think we need to sit on here all day and talk about this game. I think realistically what happened was we had two key... The fact of the matter is we had two chances. Tierney Barry gets in behind, holds it up, plays a pass into Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall, unfortunately, hits his shot right at the goalie. Anywhere else and we're 1-0 up, we probably go on and win the game. We had the other chance, which I thought was cleared off the line, but actually was a scramble, a header down towards the goal. It was scrambled away.
That was
Again,
one, I think. Yeah.
the goal. I mean, obviously in the UK we can't watch the game because it's not on the 3 p.m. blackout. But thankfully, I'm currently in abroad at the moment, so I did manage to see the game. But unfortunately, my television set broke for the goal, and when I watched the replay, I just thought Jake O'Brien's just too slow getting across, and that was really disappointing that we conceded a goal with four centre backs, and you're still conceding a goal inside your own box. I mean, do me a favour.
So the one thing though, Ryan, was, and it is definitely on Jake O'Brien, but it was a little bit naive from him because I forget the Brighton player. He had a really clever step over, and at that moment O'Brien realized, oh, now I'm out of position because the ball was not coming to the striker to Pascal Gross, was it? It was someone right in front of him, and he did a step over, and O'Brien immediately realized he needed to be tighter in, and it was already too late. So that was the error from O'Brien, not expecting that step over. Because at the moment, basically, Taki had his man marked, and it was the player that he let it come through to him. That was the error.
I need to see it back.
A little bit of naivety.
I was just frustrated.
It was basically from the right side crossing through. Yeah.
Without being very good, we were the better team. Over the course, I thought we were in control of it.
Yeah,
we just didn't look like we were. Yeah, we did run a plastic away performance. I think a point isn't a bad result, and I think a lot of people take that. I think away from home. Yeah, I mean, you take a point, you keep things moving. That's what you need to do in a game where you're not at the races. It's the home form that's very concerning. It is a winnable game against Brighton. I think if you get the goal, they open up a lot, and you can get them on the counter. We've proven we can beat them. A couple of things that bothered me. Okay, so they were the key moments in the game. Obviously, we made those substitutions. He took Garnegay off. I don't think he was particularly effective. He also took Dewsbury Hall off, of course, maybe because can't play 90 minutes. And he took Jared Branthwaite off. But he made a triple substitution. Timo and Dibbling, rubbish. Honest to God, they were. They were just not up to the standard. If I was giving them player ratings, it'd be very low. And the other substitution I think he made at that time, there was 3. It was a triple substitution. Carlos Alcaraz. I mean, he tries to run and make things happen, but sometimes it's a bit headless chicken-ish. But he did try and get us up the pitch and press and try and make things happen. So good on him. But the substitutions didn't really change the game. I think Brighton were able to control it a lot, and they made it 2-0. And the goal, I think Chris Kavanagh definitely owes us one. I'm sure Everton fans have made that very clear to Chris Kavanagh that he definitely owes us a favour, and we got a favour. But what did you make of that incident then?
So it was a bit strange because I don't think they showed it in they showed VAR very quickly and it kind of disappeared. It appears like um, there was a player in an offside position affecting the play because they said that it was Joel Veltman that caused the offside, which was very confusing because there was someone in a slightly offside position, but it didn't seem like that it was the right player that they flagged, but they kind of skipped through it. So potentially Veltman was influencing the play in the
Mm.
middle because it seemed like it went to the back post, won the header and crossed it back in, and then there was a goal really. But it must have been something about in the build up play in the early part of the cross there, he was interfering with the defense or the keeper or something, but they flew through it really fast. And I think Brighton fans they may be a little bit annoyed today. Because the other thing, which we're happy with, but that game definitely dragged on a little bit. I was like, okay, they better not call it on the final like attacking phase, but our final attacking phase just kind of kept growing and it became like 45 seconds. We failed across, but we kept possession. Lucky us, but they could have blown the whistle earlier, and
He
we
let it go over, didn't he?
got away with murder, not with murder, but we just got snuck away with that one. So the Brighton fans would probably have some right to be a bit frustrated.
No,
But
because I'll
I'll
be
take
honest with
anything
you.
from Chris Kavanagh.
There was two sets of substitutions. There was a few substitutions. There was also a few injuries. So
Yeah.
I think there was more time we were owed.
Yeah.
And okay, look, he could have blown on 96. He let it go on. We had control of the ball. We were playing with a level of for 90 seconds. We were playing with a level of speed, and it was weird. It was like we were a different team. We were spreading the pit, spreading the ball from side to side, trying to make something happen. And then we get the overload with Jake O'Brien in the pot.
Yeah.
Amazing what happens, isn't it, really?
It was a good
When you
strike.
get players into the box instead of 5 minutes earlier when Patterson's crossing it into Beto and he's the only one there. Get players into the box and you will make things happen. And that's something that I've been calling out for in these situations because you've got the security behind you. And Jake O'Brien hits the strike well. I mean, earlier Michael
Mhm.
Keane had one, but he hits the strike well. And Beto, as he did with the previous one from Keane, and I think there was another shot as well, is following up. And I made up for him, Chris, because I think
Yeah.
he's been made the scapegoat, a modern day scapegoat. He's nowhere near as bad as people make out. I think he's low on confidence. I think he's shown in the past he can score. He doesn't get a lot of opportunity. He doesn't get a lot of chances. We don't play to his strengths. His strengths
Mhm.
are running in behind, latching onto it and scoring. We haven't given him. He's a decent player. If you have three strikers at your club, he's one you'd probably have. If he's happy
Yeah.
to be the third man or the second man,
Yeah.
you
I
have to have.
think
So I made up for him. The fans went wild, but to me, Chris, it looked like he was saying goodbye at the end.
it could have been. It definitely had a sort of. I'm not sure it was as tearful as his equalizer away at Fulham, but it certainly had a bit. Those waves of goodbye there. I of course didn't watch all of the content there because I had to quickly jump on and go. But it looked like he was waving at the crowd, which is probably at minimum a waving of thank you. There's been a few links for him. What was it going to Juventus and Serie A or places of that nature? So if
Oh,
that's what
actually,
happens, or is it Fenerbahce? That's the one.
I
But I
would
think
only
we've
let
seen a
him
few
go if
different.
I had a striker lined up who I know has got a proven track record of scoring at this level,
Mhm.
or if the offer was simply too good to turn down, i.e., 20 million in your pocket guaranteed. Because I think
Yeah,
we overpaid for the bloke on the basis of it not having to give him anything for 12 months.
yeah,
But
and
you come away and you can criticize Barry on that game, but he didn't have a sniff. And forwards you have to give them, you have to give them opportunity to score.
yeah,
So I think Tarek
I
George
wouldn't.
will this as well. We've got to sign someone in this market now. We've just lost Jack Grealish. If we don't get anyone, we might as well write the season off.
Yeah, well, we rate the season off as just missing out in Europe because we're not
Thank you.
with the squad that we have. We're
Thanks,
yeah.
mate, for clarifying. Yeah, cheers.
So yeah, the other thing, you're right. Beto isn't a bad player. I think the problem is that we're putting him in positions where he's not. So I think Barry is more effective as a striker for Moyes in the channels. Hello again. Beto is very good physically winning scraps in the 6-yard box,
Can you
knocking
hear
it
me
in,
okay?
heading in, getting his toe to it first. That's where he's actually quite effective. It's almost like the spots where Yakubu used to score, just knocking him in from 6 yards out and just getting there first. You know?
I just feel like in this market, hi Jan, in this market
Hey,
now,
can
we've
you hear
got
me okay?
24, 48 hours. Yeah.
Audio's
48
good, yeah.
hours. Go and get a winger who knows how to stick it on a plate for your two strikers. Jack Grealish did it. We've lost Grealish. We're not getting anything from fullback. Okay. So you just got to bring in a winger. If that's Tarek George or whoever it is, Mickey Mouse, just stick it on the plate because Bato and Barry seem to be wanting it. They want to make things happen. They're passionate. They want to play for this club. And I hope they're both still. I hope Bato is still here in a couple of days, unless we've got under the conditions we need. I'm now going to pass over to Jan. It is my sister's 40th birthday, so Jan, enjoy your cup of tea and talking about the wonderful comeback win for Everton.
Yeah, thanks,
Yes,
Jan.
Felt like a win
Jan.
anyway. It felt like a win. It felt like a win because we were that shit.
No. I'll pick that up. But
Go on.
absolutely. Have a wonderful night. Oh crikey! Everyone can see me now.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Oh crap! Okay.
Well, while Jan figures out his camera situation, I am here. Anyway, so Jan is back. Do you have a green screen? No, that's good.
I will have a green screen very soon. I'm building one. I just want to say a quick shout out. I know that somebody is here. I see him. Can you hear me okay, everybody? I've just got it.
I can hear well.
Thank you.
I'm going to scroll through some comments as you go.
Hey, Wormy. It's good to see you. I bumped into him the other day.
Awesome.
So, genuinely, that money goes to Ryan, so we never see any of it. But thank you very much. It does support the channel.
Supporting the overhead of StreamYard is a cost, absolutely, and at minimum, that really helps us because it gets more and more expensive to do even getting to provide the content for you guys. So thank you.
It's good to be here picking up from Ryan and not with Ryan because he always seems to wind me up a little bit. How are you doing? I'm in a good mood. It does feel like a win. Ryan is right for a change.
He was very excitable, which is good. He's been very pessimistic recently, so you could feel the excitement of that last gasp equalizer. There was optimism, and I think that happens to us a lot. We're never scoring. Oh, our little internal hope that we can get a last-second equalizer, that childhood hope, it hit today. It kicked in.
Yeah, but the reason why it tasted so sweet for me was because we were lazy in the first half. I have to admit, I missed a little bit. I was getting back from Liverpool. I had to pop in today, and I missed about 20 minutes. And I was listening, and it didn't sound good. It sounded, oh no, we were going to capitulate, and we were going to piss. Sorry for the language on a Saturday afternoon. We were going to piss away the opportunity to really capitalize. But I watched the second. Watching the second half, we grew into the game. We were the better team, I can't necessarily say whether that reflected in the game and the result. And people would, maybe I'm biased. I'm an Evertonian, of course I am. But we were sharper. We gave maximum effort a little bit, and it really was. There were times that when we some of the mistakes we made in the second half were down to individual errors of not giving that effort and being lazy and just sitting in a position. For instance, I'll point to them later. But we missed a few prime chances to take the lead by inches. Yep. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall's thing where he drove in the ball across the box, and there was so many times when I thought that's the moment. And then when we came in on the right, and I think was it not Patterson, but it just needed to be crossed a little better. But then there was a ball earlier, 60 minutes or something. We came in on the right-hand side and it drove across and it sort of deflected. And I thought, that's the moment. It just needs to find a man because he's in space near the penalty spot. And I can't remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was.
That would have been Armstrong probably at that point in the match.
Yeah, and it just deflected, didn't quite catch up. And then it went back and I was like, just and Keane's shot on the volley, on pivoting, on the turn, that he just needed to hit with a bit more angle to get it to curve more into the corner. Do you know what I'm on about? It's later in the game. There were so many chances where we could have scored those goals, and then to go behind in a moment of, it was just I don't know how to describe it literarily. So apologies to the University of Liverpool here, pissing away my degree.
We were inducing chaos, and we could not, and we have finally converted from our percentage chances.
We were architects of our own downfall to a little bit, and so that equalising goal was just brilliant, vindicating.
Yeah. So this was, I think, if you didn't get to see much the first half, I think that's okay, because in all honesty, we didn't have a shot. I don't think there was a shot on target, at least 0 XG, meaning we didn't actually even have a shot blocked. That's the kind of defensive, boring, blocking kind of match we had. And I think to safely say we built our way into the game. I will ask, and the starting lineup, you've heard us talk about that, or in the chat or somewhere else too. But Mikolenko picked up a knock, so it wasn't available today.
Yeah.
How did you feel that Branthwaite did out of position at left back? All things considered, I was actually quite impressed with how he looked a little bit out of, like, not fully positionally up to the task at times, but he recovered, and Keane actually played quite well with him to kind of cover those spots, I think. So I thought that wasn't the worst thing I was going to expect on that side.
It was, to be fair, that's not where the threat came from most of the time, is it? Or Brighton didn't seem to get much luck down their right-hand side.
I was more worried about O'Brien on the right back side, and O'Brien's been in that position all season, which was interesting.
I don't think it's interesting, because we've seen the same liabilities. Or it would only be interesting if there had been a market decline.
No, it's interesting. The interesting part is we could have gone with Patterson on a day like today.
But who did we have in front of O'Brien today?
It wasn't really that obvious. It was a mixture of James Garner and Harrison Armstrong in some kind of, and maybe Idrissa Gana Gueye in a quasi right midfield, Mr. Fix-It rotation spot.
That's my point. Sorry, it wasn't like a trap. I'm just saying, we've got to do good content. Yeah.
And we have a left winger that would track back in a traditional position instead of Armstrong trying to get involved in the play. Was quite often isolated, running forward, not having support, throw his arms up, trying to come back, and then would drop deep into the 6 with James Garner, and all of a sudden you had 3 people in the same spot, giving away the right wing spot. But Armstrong wasn't bad, but I think it was just a trick. Without the support around him, he couldn't always get involved in the game, and he did his best to try and get engaged with it, but it wasn't his best match. But I almost don't blame him either. The build-up, it wasn't a game with easy build-up play, passing systems through the middle.
I'm going to get
for him to be more engaged.
We've got so many people watching. It's amazing.
I know.
And it's because you're wonderful, informed. I must be the comedic relief. But let's get some comments on here, because right, some regulars as always. Balance was crap. Yeah, exactly. 4 centre backs, 4 centre midfielders, 4. This was not what I meant when I said 4-4-2. Wait a minute.
So TJ Mid.
Fucking 2.
One that I flagged earlier that I think was interesting to note. So the right back, I guess, Kadioglu, he was actually quite good for them. And he's looking at, maybe it was SofaScore. There's quite a few different FOTMob, a lot of these rating apps. But the right back for Brighton was probably the highest rated player on the pitch. And then ours were relatively low. But no shock, we had centre halves out of position. Not terrible for being out of position, but still out of position.
Sorry, I'm letting you talk, but then I know you can take multiple things in. But I'm trying to get everyone.
I'm tasking multiply. So this one I do find interesting, because Cash here saying Alcaraz is better than Armstrong. I think they serve different purposes. Armstrong will hold the ball a little better. Alcaraz is really effective in a counter-attacking, high risk, high reward situation, especially bolting through the middle, and more willing to take a strike on.
Yes, they are very, very different players. I mean, we've seen that youth. Maybe I'm stereotyping it, but we saw that sort of youthfulness of Harrison Armstrong. Just being coming into the game and doing the stereotypical young starlet thing of running on and chasing every ball and closing a player down, and doing amazing things in the when he started recently. And it's difficult you can't expect everybody to be a Wayne Rooney. I don't think,
Well, do you think? Okay, Harrison Armstrong is not Wayne Rooney. Okay, but you know what? We have a lot of midfield depth, so there's a challenge right now to get Idrissa Gana Gueye, Merlin Roll, Tim Iroegbunam, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, Charlie Alcaraz,
the list
James Garner,
goes on
and Harrison Armstrong. That's a lot of players for 3 positions. So if everyone's fit, basically we're saying goodbye to Merlin Roll, who was on loan anyway, very quickly to keep Armstrong.
But the point,
not a
what
problem,
I've seen,
but that's a challenge we have, and it's good to have competition. But
what
who's
I've
missing
seen,
out on the time they need for development?
I would like to keep. I'd keep James Garner, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Sorry, who else did you say?
So James Garner, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, Idrissa Gana Gueye.
He's getting old, and
Yep.
the reality is,
Merlin Roll.
So Merlin Roll is one for the future that I'd like to keep, and if he's going,
on
because
loan,
he's shown,
right? He's not a signing.
And that's what I'm saying.
The
that's the paradox that we're in, is that we're getting rid of a player that's one that you would have liked to have seen signed. Anyway, sorry, forget all this. Can we go? Maybe can we go back to the game a little bit and then get on to this after?
Okay.
Sorry, Chris, because I know some people. It's Saturday, man. Some people are going to want to watch the rest of the football. Okay. What else is on today?
Chelsea.
Let me have a look. I've got it here. We've got Chelsea, West Ham United at 5:30, and then that other lot at 8 o'clock. Come on, the horse punchers.
Come on, the anti-Reds.
Yes, whoever they're playing, opposition. Yeah.
I have an aversion to red. So all I was trying to get at though was Harrison Armstrong. The question keeps coming up, and I think Moyes is making a mention of it. He's in touch with was it Paul Heckingbottom at Preston every 2 days on are we going to send him back or not. Based on how he's playing with us, I think he's earned the right to keep his position. The challenge then is we have a lot, and it's good. You like to have bench options. We used a lot of them.
What good did it do us today? I mean, would you say that was a markedly improved performance on some of our recent where we've turned up and actually won the match?
Well, what I'm going to say is we may not have utilized the midfielders that we brought in. Didn't do a whole lot, actually. Nathan Patterson made an influence immediately when he came on. Tim Iroegbunam didn't do a whole lot, unfortunately. Charlie Alcaraz tried, but didn't make that impact. But I think Armstrong earned the right to get more minutes today, and hence he started. And he was able to play on that right side. And somehow we have more left footers and right footers, which doesn't seem expected, but somehow we've found a way to have a lot of lefties. So having some right-footed midfielders that can move around in those positions, if you have Dewsbury Hall as a left footer and then James Garner and Armstrong, it could be worse if we're lacking a right winger to have someone come out there. And you know what? James Garner's delivery was from a wide right position to set up that goal. So we need some options out there.
Well, when you say that kind of options, when we talk about the who would we keep, and basically those 3 positions, the dilemma that we have. The issue is we've got so many different styles of players that when you rotate it doesn't just change what happened. If you rotate the selection, it doesn't just change the bodies, whichever player you pick. It changes the fundamental nature of how we have to play as a team. Now that you can't have, maybe that's, I'm not trying to be a genius and an analyst here, but maybe that's what Moyes' persistence with certain things is because you have to factor in fitness, but also the style of play that the opposition, he might be setting up based on tactics to counter the opposition rather than proactively choosing our style of play. Because maybe the bodies or the squad depth or lack of dictates that he can't do that. So that's the difficulty. It's a catch-22, isn't it? So we sit here going, well, who would you pick and why did Patterson not come on ahead of this? And and O'Brien is because, well, when Patterson did come on, there are elements of his play that limit or restrict the players about it. Or Tim Rabunam, he was at fault a couple of times for just sitting deep and holding space that he didn't need to do because Brighton weren't moving players into that position. So he potentially exposed Branthwaite at left back, and Branthwaite covered very well. So that's what I'm saying. There's multiple times, and because of that, but contrastingly, Tim Rabunam was in a good place to counter Mitoma at one point when Mitoma cut in because Rabunam was sat so quick. But equally, if he'd have been switched on, even if he did have a wide, it was just there. It just so happened that he was stood in front of the left-hand edge of the D of the penalty box area. And just, sorry, so what you're saying there is, what I'm saying is that we end up with a situation where we can't really pick a team based on those kind of strengths, especially when we've got so many players out for injury. It really sucks. Yeah.
Well, I will follow up because what you're saying is that at least I can tie this into. There are certain players that can be in the squad. We don't have formal positions for them. So, but let's say for Moisey, he will put in the likes of Jake O'Brien, Michael Keane, James Tarkovsky, because he knows what their floor is.
Yeah.
Nathan Patterson is, let's say he has a high ceiling, but a low floor when it doesn't go well as a defender. So there's a risk element defensively where he would say, I'd rather not be it, give us an opportunity to score goals. And generally be solid defensively. He had a slip up that led to the goal. Basically, a little bit of naivety, not expecting whoever their attacker was to basically roll through it and give it to Pascal Gross. But for the most part, it's defensive solidity that we've seen week in, week out with O'Brien, and he's solid in the air and gives more opportunities for set-piece scrambles when we do have the bodies up. So I understand that. But in the midfield, having the likes of James Garner in particular, but Garner, Dewsbury Hall, even Garner Gay, all of them pick up a lot of different spots and will just kind of meander around at times, taking up different positions, can press them in and cause turnovers and are comfortable in a lot of positions in the field. Meaning you don't always have to, you want to have wingers to test those positions, but if you don't, then you have a lot of midfielders and for the opposition who picks them up. And that there is a benefit to that. And they know each other because they're playing in so many different positions. Then they can make passing circuits. They don't always do it.
But does that end up in a style of play where it seems like we park the bus?
Yes. And
think about your answer a little bit.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm also saying in the second half where you said you felt that they at home when their fans were expecting more, they didn't. We were creating a lot of the better chances. Yes, that offside goal was really close, and I'm not sure if we look back on that if we got away with something. In all honesty,
but my point being, I appreciated that today because it reminded me of some consistency because we've had goals disallowed under similar circumstances, multiple times. Anyway. So it was nice to see. If they're going to be that particular, at least it applies in our favor sometimes.
Yes, which is really nice to say. The world isn't always against us, and today it felt like we're at least on a more of a level playing field. We'll bring in Corey. It looks like he's coming in off the phone.
Yeah.
Chips 1878. Hello.
You're
Just
right,
before we-
boys. Sorry, I'm having to make this quick because I've got a very busy afternoon, and I'm just popping in on my phone just to ask you if it really ended 1-1. I've been in a mad rush all day, and I left my living room at like 96 minutes, 96 minutes and something, fuming. Done the most angry drive ever to the Asda. I've come back. It's 1-0. What's going on?
You're just honking the whole way down the road.
You
Tell
are
you know
not
someone
wrong.
that got an elbow in the frozen meal. I thought with Van Hecker.
It's
What the Von Heck?
this, you are right.
Exactly,
It was
exactly.
1-1. It was last gasp. It was incredible. It was wonderful.
And it was a Beto moment.
It was
Better moments.
I
Madness.
literally ran around the house screaming. Yeah, good. Thanks for joining us, Corey. How are you? How did you enjoy the match?
Crap, I didn't enjoy it at all. I was thinking to myself at half time, I'm disappointed, and I thought, well, no, because I was expecting nothing after seeing that starting 11. Like, I think the fact that there's a point to me, look, considering how annoyed I was there to having Yazdan back in the frozen meal aisle, I just think that if it wasn't for that goal's probably saved Moyes a bit of grief, not like saved him itself. All right, Kev, lad. So yeah, I think that late goal has saved Moyes a bit of grief there, because I don't 4 centre backs, 4 central midfielders, 1 wide player, 1 striker. That's just not on, is it? You know what I mean? I know we had a bright spell in the second half, but again, that was just there was no pattern of play to anything. It was just whip the ball into the box, and that's where all of our chances came from. It felt very, very much like David Dyche.
David Dyche. Yeah, I've seen some are they AI combination photos going around of
No,
Dyche
I
with
made
Moyes
that,
together?
lad. I made that
you
at half
made that
time. I
one.
put it in the group.
I wasn't sure if you'd made that. That's impressive. Anyway.
No AI. No AI.
No AI. Just intelligence. All right. So I'll loop you in on this as well, guys, because I don't think based on the time zone I'll be able to do it. But oh wait, no. Wrong one.
It's a valid point. It is a valid point.
So, this is the one I was trying to say. There's a transfer show scheduled for Follow Everton. I'm not sure who's going to be available to do it, but I think there's going to be something on. Is it Tuesday night?
Monday
for the 7 o'clock deadline. Is it Monday?
Monday night. Yeah, Monday night. Well, it'll be Tuesday for you.
So, yeah, no, that's what it is. Yep, it's the 2nd, but it'll be the 3rd for me. Anyway, so we're planning to do something. Exactly who's going to be joining, not 100% sure yet. We might be doing reactionary breaking news if there is an announcement of someone going.
We're going to need a lot more channel donations to do content like that. Yeah.
No pressure.
So, boys, because I've missed this, what did you boys think of the game then?
Well,
flat. I fell asleep a couple times in the first half on the couch. The second half was better, but still just lacked the finishing touch. But Barry set up Shrewsbury Hall well, but I felt like our moment was over, and it was just dragging out to the end there. And I thought we were losing 1-0. And while I was coming over here writing up the score, I had the iPad next to me and was just laughing, going, "What are the chances? This is 1-1. This is so fit in for Beto." You know, so basically what happened.
Well, basically, yeah. I missed the first 20 minutes, but you watched it, right? And so, but I did listen intermittently on the radio or as much as I could on the way back, and it sounded like periods of shittiness, of absolute. Oh my God, we're gonna capitulate. It's gonna be 4-0. We're gonna come back miserable, and the next game's gonna be even more depressing, and we're gonna go on a downward slide. Oh crap! I don't want to listen. I don't want to go home. I really hope I get stuck in traffic. Oh no, I've made it home. And then I started watching, and the remainder of the first half was like, okay. Oh no, we've got a chance. Oh my God, we should have scored. Maybe could have scored. Yeah. And then it was half time. Moyes clearly gave him a bloody talking to. Love it. And then it was like rejuvenation. We should have scored. Oh, typical. We Evertoned it up. We conceded a goal. And then beautiful, Corey. It was beautiful, mate.
Fried chicken.
Mm.
Have I missed something there?
It was beautiful.
He's going for the comedic effect.
Because I'm on the phone, I can't hear it too as properly.
Yeah.
The
And I was saying fried chicken because of his KFC moments, and because
that's all right. Okay, the chicken man.
and then I was thinking, well, isn't that like a Scouse thing to have the fried chicken and the Pepsi? So it's all fitting.
What?
Isn't that the whole ad? The Pepsi and the chicken for like at Hill Dickinson?
This chicken and a can of Coke.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Come on. I know what I was talking about.
Yeah, it's from when we announced Pepsi and they obviously put a little subversion on the old meme before memes and memes. Yeah, I'm on to.
I do like it.
So boys, I just think this. Is it positive from Moyes then in your mind? Obviously, for me, it's just pure negative, that game. But is the positivity from yous, the lineup, but did it actually work for the fact that we kept them at bay mainly? Is it a case of that he made the tactical changes? Because for me, it's maybe my head fell off a little bit. Maybe I'm just being hysterical or reactionary. But from the moment I seen that lineup up until the moment that I stormed out the house, I was just completely perplexed at how garbage it was. But do you see positivity in it?
I do. The positivity is not the lineup, absolutely not, or not the setup we had. But I think actually the midfield being out. I know this sounds weird, but for being the players that we had in the positions they performed better than I expected. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't have had a lineup that was better suited to the task.
Yeah.
Can I just take a moment, because Ryan will beat me in a basement if I don't. Thank you. We've got hundreds of viewers at the moment. We really appreciate you because of you guys. Oh, thank you. Chris is amazing. We can do this content. It's because of this that we get the opportunity to be narcissistic, ego-driven little weirdos sitting here talking to each other and dissecting other professionals' inability to pander to our wants and needs as and when we want our every whim. So thank you very much for this. We are Follow Everton. To tell everyone, we've got thousands of subscribers. I don't know the numbers. Ryan is out there constantly plugging it, but it is a lot of fun. And we've got guys from the other side of the world, from the other side of the water, and from, well, the other side of the universe. I don't know. Yeah. I love you, Corey.
Where me at the moment, yeah.
And genuinely, some of the regulars here. Absolutely.
I will say, if we donate more money to Follow Everton, we can get results. Wes, be careful.
We've got from Wales. We've got we've got them from down the road from me. Like bumped into Wormy at the. I'm not going to say where because it wasn't as bad as that. We were just he's a good lad. Thank you for joining us, but we do appreciate it. So like, subscribe. And if you can't get your comments on here, it's only because it shows only the YouTube comments. And I think maybe, is it Facebook as well? But if you're watching on other platforms, come do the YouTube thing.
Yeah. So if you're on YouTube, you'll see the YouTube comments. If you're on Facebook, you'll see the Facebook comments. X, you'll see the X. Us, we see them all grouped together, but it doesn't kind of go out both the same way. The one thing we also have is someone that follows the leagues at more detail than I do, and that person is Corey. So I may as well, while you're still here, Corey, follow Tazul's comment about the Bobble, saying we are close to agreeing a deal with Chelsea for, I think it was George.
Sirif George, yeah.
Yep. So, and he's saying, would it be worth him coming to play for effectively David Moyes if he's going to, quote unquote, be a little bit old school? Not giving young players an opportunity and having to prove yourself, especially if it's for a loan deal.
I mean, is it worth it for him? I don't know. Is it worth it for us? Definitely, because it's better to have the option and not use it than to not have the option and want to use it. Now, that means then if we get the player in, then the option's there for us to use, and it's on David Moyes if he doesn't, and then that's the issue there. So it's not our time wasted in taking him. It's It's our time wasted in letting Moyes do that, but it's not our time wasted. If you know what I mean, it's better to have the option and not use it. It's not on him then. I think we said this at the end of the summer transfer window, is that, okay, getting Diblin in is okay, but ideally we needed a different profile player, someone a bit more direct, someone pacey. And I think that's what St. George is. He can be quite industrious, but he can be inconsistent, if you know what I mean, patchy, even in the middle of games. But any young winger's really like that, isn't he? But the lad's got pace, got a decent bit of trickery. He's a good player to get in on loan, to be honest. I'd certainly take him. Again, I think he's a profile winger that we definitely need. And I think that, look, we've lost Jack Grealish, which is a massive, massive blow, and we're not going to get another loan player like that in any way, shape, or form. Let's be honest. So the best we can do is try and work around that. Now, we need.
One second. Can I just ask you?
And he is
you guys are quite knowledgeable about this kind of stuff, and I think it's worth asking this question now for our viewers, right? What is the likelihood that Grealish comes to Everton when his contract is because it's expiring, isn't it, with Manchester City?
No, I think he's still got another year left.
Oh crap!
Yeah, that's what confused me with. So Ryan made a thing saying he's basically out of contract. I thought he had 1 year left.
That's what I'm basing that on because of the apologies. Yeah.
So to follow up on Gaspipe's questions about Tyreek George, I believe he's a right-footed winger that likes to play on the left primarily. So he's almost the Diblin, like the opposite of Diblin, who's an inverted winger that prefers playing on the left, but he can probably play on both sides. I had a quick look at him on SofaScore. It appears like he's typically been on the bench for Champions League matches, but hasn't come on. He's not typically in the Premier League squad for starting in this or starting.
He had a lot of games in the Europa League or Conference League, whatever it was they were in last season. He had a lot of games.
That's where you got to see him.
In that.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's where you got to see him.
And I think another thing is, if he's going to want to persevere a bit more with playing O'Brien or not having Patterson push up, it might be that he plays Njai on the left and St. George on the right and uses him as an old-fashioned winger who hugs the touchline and tries to get round the beaters man and then put the ball in. We've seen it just a kind of guy in the previous game against Leeds and today, where for whatever reason he's the guy who's gone wide and whipped that kind of ball in, if you know what I mean. So wouldn't surprise me if he pushes him over to the right-hand side and uses him in that capacity, or puts Njai over to the right and uses George on the left. And again, I think losing Grealish is a big thing, but Tyler Diblin is a very, very, very similar profile to Jack Grealish, which for me was the problem in getting Diblin and Grealish in the same window, because you've got two similar profile wingers. So if Diblin can get some game time and play the right midfield role, and he can play that similar role to Grealish, doesn't kill time, kill the ball, draw players off and things like that, then you can have that other profile, i.e. Njai or George on the left-hand side. So I think it works for me. And again, in terms of getting Jack Grealish, I think getting a loan in instead of going all in on a winger and paying for them means that it gives us time to maybe see how Grealish's injury holds up, how his fitness holds up at the end of it, and see if we want to make him permanent in the summer. He puts the ball in our court then if we take that loan. That's what I reckon is probably the case, and it allows us to do. So I don't have an issue with us not spending big on a winger in this window. I understand it. For me, it's the most important thing is the right back in terms of that. But it's everyone's each individual preference.
Yeah, without just going, ask Corey every single question under the sun. Did you get the highest rated player according to some of the different like sofa scores and other metrics was their right back today?
Kadioglu.
His name off. Yeah, Kadioglu. What do you think of him today? Because he seemed to actually be quite menacing at times and quite good.
You know what, mate? Kadioglu's good. He came in last season from Fenerbahce, I think it was. He's playing on the left-hand side, left back, but he had a couple of injuries, didn't really settle in the team. Now he's moved to right back. Now they've got Maxim de Kuiper. But I think he's a good player. He's got good energy. He's got intensity. He's got a good bit of responsibility. I don't think he's at an elite level as a right back, but he's certainly very good. He's certainly a player that Brighton will bring up another level or two before he goes elsewhere. And he dealt really well with Njai today. We all know how difficult Njai is, but this is what's really good from defenders, is when you can be physical and kind of be nasty and bully players about, but not foul them, is trying to get that playing on that edge. And he played on the edge really, really well today. And that's what you need to do to deal with Iliman Njai. And I think he's done very well. Very good right back. It's not something that we'd be able to get, but yeah.
So thank you for your insights. I'm just seeing all these comments and trying to figure out how to to prove the content going. But
Oh, I'm
yeah,
just
it's
putting it in just to show some representation. You know, folks have obviously discussing it, and
I've got to go in like
yeah,
2 minutes, guys. By the way, so if I do just I will just say bye before I go. But if you've got any questions for me before I go, let me know.
yeah. So you're not hit by a bus if you disappear. You're just disappearing.
Just disappearing. I've got to go. I'm going to a meal. So
good.
Some chicken and Pepsi. Yeah.
chicken and a Pepsi, lads. Yeah, that's the one.
Pepsi. Yeah. That's some decent spelling. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's it.
So, is there anything you want to, again, before we finish up, is there anything in particular you wanted to talk to? Because I think we've talked about starting lineups. We're going to have a transfer replacement type of show. Maybe we lose Beto. It's definitely felt that way. So maybe Beto goes, Dwight McNeil being linked away with Forrest. Patterson, I'm really not sure what to expect for him. So there could be a few ins and outs which we'll cover when they happen, or if they happen on the day of. But for the match today and any kind of closing remarks, did you have anything you wanted to bring up?
Not really. Why would I? This sounds very loaded. Is it like
no? I'm just saying, like, we've talked. If I'm about to close up the show, is there anything else you would like to say? Not like, hey, there's a missing thing you missed, and I'm gonna write on my checkbook that you missed the question. No, this is
right, boys. Up the toffees. I'm going. Love you. Bye.
Speak. Bye.
See you, Corey. Good, Leon. Thank you very much for joining us. No, it was just basically, you know, well, you were talking about who you were just asking me who would you get rid of, you know, and who could you see going? All right, okay. So.
Oh, I was just talking, saying those are the people we'll likely talk about in the upcoming days on another transfer show.
Oh,
so,
right, okay. Well,
if we're just talking about the people from today and how we played and any kind of closing remarks on how today went.
It was frustrating that we didn't get earlier goals, but vindicating that we got a point away from home from a team that are our competitors. So you'd think that is a fair, you know, it's a fair representation. So I'm happy, happy for Saturday, happy to go away and prepare for the next 2 hours to wonder if I can paint myself metaphorically black and white. And the good thing is, well, before we do, we also look forward to next week. We are going to play Fulham. So it's you know, it's good to know that they are playing Man United tomorrow away. They've got one less day to prepare. And you know, who knows what can happen in that time.
Yeah, and for me, the main takeaway is we had a lot of players coming back from injury. Seem that they the key players in Jared Branthwaite, Keenan Dewsbury Hall did not seem to struggle with match fitness, which was really good to see. So a lot of minutes in the legs, and hopefully everyone recovers well. And we're getting a pretty strong squad back outside of the Jack Grealish component. So happy to see the depth coming back, meaning we have a lot of bench options, and then it's a question of how do we best utilize said squad in upcoming matches. So absolutely. I think that's about it for me.
When are you next? Before you go there, when are you next on Follow Everton?
I don't know. I have work schedule is changing a lot for the moment. So until I'm really sure, it's hard to say. When I'm away, it's only the pre-match on the early games I can do with noise restrictions. So it's usually every other week.
Excellent.
Okay. You're making it sound like I'm disappearing, Jan. Just like
well, Corey disappearing, you disappearing, everyone's disappearing. It's a bit suspicious.
Well, the sunshine where I'm from, it was pretty. Yeah,
it's dark here.
It's dark and full of terrors. All right. Jan,
I will. Man. Yes, but yeah. On that note, thank you very much.
Cool. Yeah, and thanks for joining in. Yeah, it's just nearly 2 a.m. now, so I'm starting to crash.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Till next time, everyone. Up the toffees.